Welcome back to Inside the 18 live from Mobile Mini Cup in lovely Tucson, Arizona. I'm Michael Madgen. I'm here with Omar Zini, as you can tell, to the right of me. And he's just like, I don't have a microphone right now, so I don't know what to do right now. So he's like, it's all good, but I'm going to give it to the other guys right here. We're here with the OKC Energy goalkeeping community. We've literally brought every goalkeeping person to this lovely show today, which is pretty awesome. I'm really excited because first off, we got Alexis Vizarelis, the goalkeeper coach, Cody Laurendi, the goalkeeper, Bryan Byars, goalkeeper, and some dude who's like 18 years old, and I hate him already because he's that good, Harrison Bouma. Guys, welcome to Inside the 18. This is going to be a lot of fun because first off, a lot of times we have goalkeepers on, and they're like, oh, God, press again? This is the worst. They're going to ask us about some stupid penalty kick, or they're going to ask us, like, what's it like when, like, the ball's up in the air, and there's like, what do you do when you catch it with two hands? And it's like, no, this is a goalkeeping community show. We're all actual goalkeepers. We're real goalkeeper coaches. So we're stoked to have you guys on because first off, the whole thing we want to talk about today is that, first off, by the way, congrats on the win, 2-0. Good. Harrison, you did a great job there. You were really good. I saw you serving those volleys, dude, during warm-ups. Doing a good job there. Yeah, you do what you can. But that was great. And you guys already, we've just been here just a few minutes, and you guys are hilarious, okay? You guys are hilarious. You guys have a good rapport with each other. So we want to talk about that because a lot of people don't understand this whole goalkeepers union thing, the whole goalkeeping community. Because let's be honest, we're kind of a team within a team, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, Alexi, why don't you go into a little bit?
I mean, yeah, of course. I think the biggest thing is when you come together as a group and as a team, the most important thing is the culture. And I know, Steve, obviously, the head coach, has been from day one, has worked very hard. Danny as well, and Max, one of the other coaches. We came together and we talked a lot about the culture, and it was the same thing that I thought about when we thought about the goalkeepers. Obviously, I know these guys really, really well. I think there's a trust issue involved when you're training daily and the ups and downs of a season. So yeah, these lads are great. Now, of course, it's great coming off a
I know, I was going to say, like, if this game had been like, it's like, yeah, it actually was like a 4-0 loss. Right. And they're just like, you know what, yeah, exactly. You guys wouldn't be here. You guys would have been like, you know what, the bus is really late. Yeah, it's really late. In fact, it's not coming back until tomorrow. Right when our plane leaves, that's when the bus is coming back. So now, obviously, some of you guys are veteran goalkeepers. You guys have been around the game for a while. Cody, you were coming off an injury and everything like that. So what's it been like coming back into the team fold, after that injury and having that layoff time?
Yeah, it was a slow process. But again, culture and the environment that we have been able to create is one of support and genuine happiness when we do well. Coming off of an injury, being unsure if you're still going to be able to perform up to the level that you're accustomed to, all those question marks kind of were put to bed through daily work. I was able to, start slow, if you will. We worked reaction stuff, every day, pretty much prior to the team training and then after. Control what you can control. All these things, I know they are cliche, but it's the truth. And then, again, coming back to the environment, that the types of people that are in the locker room genuinely want everybody to see them do well. Yeah. And it was huge. That was huge for confidence and preparation, and then being able to get back into the swing of things. Obviously, Bryan did fantastic when he was called upon. Obviously, as a backup role, it's probably the most unenviable role you can have. Constantly prepared, and then when you do get your opportunity, he shined, and we wanted to keep this good, positive momentum going.
For sure. And Bryan, for you stepping in, I mean, a lot of questions that kids ask me is, how can I be happy as a number two, or even a situation when should I even be prepared when my number is called? Because what if it isn't called? So for you, how was that experience like? Did you feel, obviously, that you just kept your head down, kept working, an opportunity came, unfortunate circumstances, but how were you ready to go when that opportunity came?
Yeah, kind of like you said, you kind of have to put in the work day in and day out. And for me, I always kind of had the mindset of, my name could be called tomorrow, the next day, the day after, because you never know when it could be called. Might be tomorrow, the next day, or a year from now. You just kind of never know. And so, with the help of the coaching staff and Cody and and Harrison and even last year's guys, coming in and training every day, pushing me, which then in turn, pushed them. And so for me, it's just kind of always putting your head down and getting the work done every day, doing a little extra, and just kind of be mentally prepared too.
Harrison, I want to talk to you, and I know you don't have a microphone, so we're actually going to give you a microphone. Is this not like some initiation type of thing where they're like, I don't know, we're going to have to go up there, we're going to have to do karaoke? No, you're a young guy, you're just starting out your career. These guys are veterans. They've been around the game for a while. What an awesome opportunity for you. Obviously you came through the Sporting KC, academy, which was obviously a great opportunity for you. And now to be able to go into the professional environment after your family moved and you were able to set up here with OKC. This is huge for you. Alexi, what's it been like integrating a young guy like this into the program?
Well, funny story. So Bryan and Harrison, I actually worked with them when they were young kids. So yeah. So I actually coached both their teams as well. So the reason that they still want to be around me is pretty amazing. Because I wasn't a very good head coach, to be quite honest. But no, so I worked with them for a long time and knew from a young age they had something. You always look for something different. Work ethic being one as a goalkeeper, being able to rebound from bad days. So it was an interesting journey with these two coming in. So I'd actually worked more with them at a young age than Cody, and obviously we knew each other when he was at the Energy and I wasn't there yet. So then it all kind of came together. So we've always had this kind of a special bond, But I forgot the question, mate. What was
I don't know. The question was.
I got so involved in
it's
the
all
memory lane.
It's all good. I mean, hey, you know what? We all have to reminisce about the youth soccer days. It's the way it goes. I mean, Harrison literally is youth soccer age, so it's totally cool. We can still do that. What are you playing U9s right now? Is that what you're doing? Okay, that's what I figured.
Almost U10s.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. One day that Flight 1 will come to you.
But it's interesting, like you said. I mean, you had the question about not being the starting goalkeeper. And just like today, for example, you don't see these two trained afterwards, and put in a session. And that's a really hard session because you haven't played the game. You still got to be sharp. You've got to get your time in. You've got to make sure you're ticking over. You've also got to help the team. There's some players that didn't get minutes that are also needing some work, and they're shooting on goal. So these guys stayed out and went above and beyond. And what's really interesting, what I was trying to tell you guys is, so there's, Harrison's starting off his journey and he can lean on Bryan and he can lean on Cody. Cody had some times as well that were tough and he wasn't always the number one. And he had some days that, he was in Belgium, not knowing when he was going to get his next game, living in digs and figuring out a different culture. So the journey for them to all get to where they are is pretty impressive. So I just try and cultivate that. I'm not really a big piece in all this. It's really keeping them working with each other. You know what I mean?
Now, one thing about Cody and Bryan is that, for lack of a better term, they came from non-traditional paths to the professional ranks. Obviously, Bryan, you played at a smaller school, and a lot of times guys are overlooked because they play at a smaller school. And they say, well, why is that guy at a smaller school? Is it because of his level of ability? A lot of times people just blossom at different times. I know I became I became a goalkeeper in college. Before I was a disaster. I thought I was going to play college basketball, and everyone looked at me and they're like, no, soccer might be a way. I'm like, cool, goalkeeper. They're like, keep thinking what you're going to do. You don't have the idea right. But obviously, Cody, going to overseas and going on an amateur contract. I mean, that is a really tough path.
Yeah, absolutely. It from an early age, it kind of weeds out who thinks they want it and who really wants it. Because there was moments. I thought at that age I was 18. Best friends are going through college. Standard U.S. college. I'm thinking, am I missing out? Is this really worth it? All those thoughts went through your head.
For sure.
Of course. I think you'd be lying to say no. But you work through it. You realize that I'm not actually missing anything. I'm gaining. I'm gaining cultural experience.
For sure.
I'm gaining the uncomfortable feelings in a match, having to be put under pressure, right? And then seeing how am I going to react? Because that's the only way you're going to figure out anything about yourself, is being under those stressful moments and figuring out what are you going to do.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that was a huge aspect of where we are today.
Well, from your experiences, and I know Harrison, I was in an environment when I was 16 with the Galaxy Academy. We had older guys, and they cultivated, our goalkeeper coach cultivated an environment and like the chemistry within the group that allowed the younger guys to not feel like they were in competition, and the older guys to feel like if I help the younger guy, they're not gonna, they won't take my spot type of feel. Yeah. So for you, how has it been working? Obviously, you know Bryan a little bit, right? And Cody, but now you've gotten to know Cody, but from your experience so far being with the older guys in the professional environment, I'm sure Alexis given you, growing up, he's helped you out, but now that he's like the professional coach that he is, how has that environment been for you?
Unbelievable. Every day I get to go out and train with both these guys. As you were saying, veterans, and just being able to learn from them every day and take every little piece I can. It's unbelievable, and it helps me every day. And I know these guys want to help me get better each day. As same with them, I want to improve them as much as I can. And then right back with Lexi, giving me an opportunity and just allowing me to be part of this group and be part of this energy family. It's amazing. For sure.
And Alexi, for me, it's kind of different. You're obviously a professional environment. I'm more of like the youth ranks. And the way I deal with some of my goalkeepers, obviously you have guys who think they can play or who want to be the starter. And for you, how do you manage all of those personalities and emotions? Obviously you have a personal or prior relationship with some of these guys. So how are you able to kind of keep everybody happy in that sense, at the same time get everybody their reps that they feel they need?
Just being honest, just being as honest and authentic as you can be. Conversations, obviously, I think the goalkeepers know, just like any player that we have on our squad, that we're there to serve them at the end of the day. It's a player's game. Yeah. Sometimes, and especially it gets a little bit hazy in the youth ranks where coaches think they can really influence a game, and of course they have moments that they can, but we're in a game that we need to serve the players. We need to work for the players, and I think the players trust that I'm doing my utmost to prepare them, all of them, on an individual basis, but also as a group. Like you said, the GK Union is, a lot of people don't understand what we go through on a daily basis, and they kind of say, look, goalkeeping, they're all nuts, and they're bouncing off the walls and whatnot. But really, you got to be really sharp to play the position, especially nowadays, the way the game's evolving. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, first off, by the way, I want to say congratulations to all of us for being able to monitor 4 microphones with 6 people. This has been incredible. You had yours the whole time.
Mine's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally just been us two.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Now, I want to talk a little bit about in regards to your daily training and stuff like that. But, a lot of the kids out there, they're like, hey, this is great. This sounds like a lot of coach talk and stuff like that. But what advice would you give to them, when you're going through those sessions and you're having issues, like you were saying, maybe you're coming back from an injury, or, maybe you came from a smaller school and you're trying to play at the professional level, or maybe you're a young guy going up into the pro ranks and you're trying to showcase that you belong at this level. Like, what advice would you give to any of those kids out there, either the keepers or Alexi?
All right. Just to be intentional with your training. Don't just go out there, and kind of whatever happens approach. Show up. I think that's something that we all do very well. We show up, we have a routine. And that routine, the repetitive nature of it, being prepared as possible to come into a session, has led to success. Obviously, Lex, he says he's not a big part of this. He's a massive part of this, because not only are his sessions physically demanding, they're mentally demanding, right? And then when we get to the game on the weekend, or a midweek match, we're prepared for most, if not all, situations that we face in the game because of our preparation. So.
Yeah, by the way, I also want to say one thing. Omar referred to himself coaching at the youth ranks. He coaches college soccer, so I want to let his college players know that he referred to it as the youth ranks. I'm sure those guys are really going to appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, kind of like what Cody said, we come in and we do have a routine. we call it the miles. You're just putting in the miles every day, put on the
You
runners.
told me this, by the way. Sounds bad.
Yeah.
Miles sounds awful.
Putting in the miles. Yeah.
Everybody
So-
there is just like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. That sounds awful.
No, and it's like it is. It's we have a routine. We come in and we're probably some of the first 3 in the locker room every day, and some of the last to leave. And so we come in, have a routine, and like you said, you'd be switched on and be ready to go mentally, because that's the key. For me it is because not every day you're gonna have a good day, but if you're mentally switched on and mentally can be strong for yourself, then even a bad day will have some benefit. And I'm gonna steal this from Cody, but he uses the 1%. Get 1% better every day. And first time I heard him say it, I kind of had to think about it, and I was like, oh, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so that's kind of going back to what he was saying.
And then what Byars is saying about you're not going to have the best days always, and that's something you really have to learn, is that you're going to make mistakes and you're not going to have the best of days, but how you rebound from those and how you move on to the next drill or the next set is really what makes a difference and what sets you apart. Because if you keep on dwelling on it, you're not going to improve at all. You got to be able to almost be like a goldfish, forget it and move on.
Leslie, if you have any.
The only thing for me is, I came over here like 20 years ago and kind of did the same thing as you, and played college ball and whatnot. And I think the resources now in this country, the amount of great goalkeeping coaches that are around, that are accessible, is fantastic. But one thing I think that youth players need to think about too is be motivated. Don't always think that someone's got a ticket for you. Yeah. Train hard, even if you don't have the resources. Maybe you don't have a goalkeeping coach. There's still ways to get better. Yeah. Watch games, work hard, ask to train on other teams. I think personally, you have to have that desire yourself to get better. No one's really going to do it for you. We're only we only harness this as coaches, but if you are motivated, you're going to be successful somewhere down the road. It's not always going to be a path that grows. It's probably going to be one of these, but stay the course.
For sure. I think I was going to ask you, from the goalkeeper coaches, we have obviously goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches that follow us. But from a goalkeeper coach's perspective, I know for a fact the first session, if I had someone film the first session I ever put on, and I saw it now, 3 years down the road, I probably would laugh and be like, I can't believe that's something that I actually focused on. Right. So for the coaches out there that are watching, what is something that you feel you've learned is like the biggest piece of advice you can give to coaches from, let's say, your first days as a goalkeeper coach to now? What have you learned the most about yourself?
Adapt and evolve, because the position's doing the same thing. So, don't make the session about yourself. Make the session, first of all, fun, because at the end of the day, we're throwing ourselves all over the place. We're trying to get in front of a ball that's going goodness knows how many miles an hour. If you're not having fun, it's going to be a pretty horrific place for you. So I think that's the element that you want to bring. Be adaptable. There's so much content going on. You're seeing the top goalkeepers now doing some outrageous things. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be doing that. Yeah. There's a process, and these guys are the best of the best. So just learning the group, having the trust, thinking about your session. It's very important that you're not just going out there and winging a session. You have to put thought into your session, even down to, how much work you're actually doing, how close you are to a game and all these other pieces. And be yourself. Let your characteristics go. Don't try and be anyone else, because ultimately you can get a lot of great content just from watching a YouTube channel, so to speak. But if you don't know what you're talking about, at the end of the day, the goalkeeper's going to be lost. So be authentic, be yourself. Take care in what you do, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some really good advice here in regards to the fact I was just saying, like, you can watch all the tape out there and you can watch all these sessions, but if you don't understand it, I think that's the difference between a trainer and a coach, and I always bring this up to people consistently, is that there's anybody can go out there and hit balls at players, even put people through the motions in an activity. But if you don't understand how that pertains to the game, and everything should be game related, and that's I think one great thing about a lot of great goalkeeper coaches out there is they make it specific to the game. Because yourself, Harrison, as a younger goalkeeper, I'm sure you've been through a lot of different coaches, in the youth ranks who a lot of times you're like, well, how does this pertain to the game? And Cody and Bryan, now that you're at the professional level, anytime you get any sort of training like that, come to you where someone goes, hey, why don't you do this? And you go, I don't know how this pertains to me though, and actually what I actually do in the game,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, another thing, too, is I want to talk about the fact that you're talking about, watching and what the big-time goalkeepers are doing. That's, I feel, an issue in this country is that a lot of kids out there, they just watch the Premiership. They just watch Champions League, and they look at De Gea and Ederson, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they need to watch people like yourselves, okay? Because you guys are role models in their community. Go out to the local leagues and watch those games because these guys are really, really good goalkeepers and great goalkeeper coaches out there working with them. So there's more of a reality that you're going to end up playing here than you're going to play. I'm not saying it can't happen, but don't bite. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Like use these to your advantage.
Absolutely.
And with that, I want to talk about some of the modern goalkeeping and some of the things that are become quote unquote sexy, spreading, blocking, parrying, jumping over neon balls with hula hoops and all that stuff and.
They're on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And Harrison, he's like, oh, this is great for my Instagram channel. I'm going to beat out Omar's Instagram channel this way. But as you know, Alexi, that's not the meat and potatoes, of the game. So how do you guys feel about, those things? Are they useful in certain situations? Are people training it the wrong way? Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, again, you look at the modern goalkeeper and there's some fantastic techniques, but at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with your decision making. That's, for me, the number one piece to any part of your goalkeeping is these guys, with all these techniques that we're watching, I think you've got to look at the moments that they're doing them. And our game comes down to moments at the end of the day. So they're putting themselves in positions where they can make some of these incredible saves. I mean, we've all talked about De Gea against Tottenham not too far back, and I'm a Tottenham fan, so it was an awful day for me. But he made, I think it was 11, 12 saves, most of them with his feet. Right place, right time. So for me, it's not so much the techniques because, again, a goalkeeper could be 6'4", a goalkeeper could be 5'11". You're not necessarily going to play the game the same way. Some are very athletic. Harrison's got a ridiculous spring, and he uses that to his advantage. But that doesn't mean that Cody doesn't have it. you know what I mean? So they all have attributes that we try to bring out, and the consistency is are they in a great place when the game comes? That's the most important thing. Are they feeling confident? If you've absolutely battered them all week and you've worked on a technique that they failed, how ready are they going to be to actually perform in the game? So it's gaining that trust where I think the guys trust me now with my information is that, if we're ever working on something that might be a little bit outside the box, they know that I'm going to cater to their needs at the end of the day. So the spreading, the blocking, all these pieces that you talk about, the side volley, if you can do it, do it. you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, explore it, have fun with it, especially at a young age. But at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to decision making and knowing yourself and knowing what your qualities are at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. Obviously, it's great to see, the Edersons of the world and the Allisons and De Geas doing what they do. But we're taking an approach of evolving, but not straying away from what has made us successful in the past. Yeah. Right? I think a big aspect of it is team trust, and you build team trust through performance, communication. Trying to set your men in the right spots to make the best play possible. And those are the things that aren't the highlight reel type of things, but those are something that is something that throughout our game week that we build up to, and that leads to confidence, which leads to trying new things in training. And again, before we move forward, the training that we do is again intentional, where it's Tuesday and Wednesday is the harder type session. That way, Friday comes, we're not shattered, right? It's the work has been put in, and we feel like the well-oiled machine that we are to go into a match day and perform at our best. It's not just like I said, making hundreds of saves throughout the week, and by the weekend you're a shell of yourself, So.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are the most eloquent group of goalkeepers, by the way,
Thank
that
you.
I've ever met in my life.
We take pride in that.
I'm literally, I'm like talking to Harrison,
Thank you.
and I'm like, my gosh, you're 18, right? You're 18 years old, and when I was 18 years old, I was a disaster. I mean, the fact that you can carry, say 2 sentences together on camera, I'm like blown away.
It's the first all week.
One thing I want to bring up is, you're talking about, being in the right situation, the right time, and all the cash versus the flash type of thing. A lot of people have been talking about your viral video, Bryan, from last year, that great save that you made and everything. But what a lot of people don't recognize and they don't bring up, which really upsets me, is that when your recovery movement to get set for that tip over is really what made that save. Is you came off your line, you were caught a little too high off your line. You made the save to push the guy wide, which gave you the delay time to allow you to make that recovery movement back. But if you hadn't been set, if you had been doing the run, sprint across, and try to explode, you wouldn't have made that save because it was hit direct. So I really that's really what's awesome to me as a goalkeeper coach to see that. Not all of us have the springs like Harrison where it just automatically happens no matter where you are position wise. Speaking about the fun, I want to talk about the fun because I think it's so important, and we're gonna have some trivia fun in a few minutes.
I love it. Bring it
We're
on.
gonna see how well you guys know your UK history when it comes to goalkeeping
gosh.
with this guy right
I'm
here.
out.
Let's see
This
how
isn't
much
gonna
he's
be
taught,
good.
how well he's taught you
Before
guys.
we start,
Is it modern day?
before we start, is there any reason it's 80 degrees in here?
I don't know. Why is it so hot in here?
Yeah.
Is there any way can we turn it? This guy is ridiculous. This guy wears like 7 jackets. He was like, okay, we did a training session on Thursday. We did a clinic in Phoenix, and it was like 32 degrees, and it was snowing, and it was like numb and stuff. And he's like, Mike, you got to run the session. He's like, because my brain can't even think. These guys are in Oklahoma. They're like, that's nothing. Are you kidding me? We're training 4 degrees.
We've been there, yeah, we've
This is
been there.
nothing. But I want to talk about fun because I think fun is so important. I try to bring it to my goalkeeper sessions.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm a comedian, so that helps in that way. Yeah, I'm actually a comedian. They're like, oh, he's not an MLS goalkeeper? I thought that's what he was. No, guys, hey, look, spending time in the USL as a 4-string unsigned practice goalkeeper has given me a lot of thought about how to approach a goalkeeper session, and that is you got to keep it fun. Otherwise, you're going to hate life.
Exactly.
And so what are some of the most fun sessions you guys had, some of the great moments you've had in the past year?
Spike ball.
Oh, spike
Yeah,
ball,
fires
okay.
is- yes, because you're good at it.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Don't hate us.
So I became an American citizen.
You did?
A couple of weeks ago.
Do we say congratulations?
Yeah.
How does that work exactly?
Well, I'm happy.
Okay, there you go.
But also because I've got the English, and then Cody represents Puerto Rico. That's
right.
So we're the dual national goalkeepers, and we play against the young, full Americans.
No one gets whiter than those guys over there. I was just looking at them. I was like, man.
But anyway, Byars is pretty good at spike ball. So as much as me and Cody try and cheat, they've had us both games we played this season, right?
Yeah.
So he obviously loves that. Anytime I get them ramps, rebounders, they love the session. But honestly, there's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned session. Like towards a match day, we tend to take all the toys away and try to get them feeling, their environment. They're 18 and whatnot. Get their angles right. So there's a time and place for everything. They'll always enjoy it. if there's a ramp or a rebounder there or something. That the lads always make fun of us, don't they, when they're
always
jogging past? Yeah. But you can tell they're all really gutted because they want to jump in and have some fun. So, but it's kind of, I guess, I don't know. What do you reckon?
That's good. I like we take the air toms, the inflatables.
Yeah.
Right. We bring those out there and we'll warm up 2-touch with the hands, and then we'll incorporate hands and feet only, and then we're able to kind of affect by pushing the air tom somebody's dealing with a certain ball. So that's another one that gets your brain going, and it's enjoyable, and there's a competition aspect to it. The ramp aspect that we use, we water it as well, so it kind of gives that effect of playing in inclement weather. Very uncertain where the ball's going to go when it comes off there. So all those things we really find enjoyable. So.
They've covered it, I think.
Spike ball.
No, one last thing before we get into just, I guess, the Q&A, the trivia that we have. For Cody, for you, especially being like the older person in the group, how do you feel? Do you feel like you try and help the younger guys as much as you possibly can? Like, is it just an organic thing for you, or how? Obviously you have, the sometimes people will have the fear of, if I help somebody, we talked about it yesterday about the NFL, certain quarterbacks who come in and, they have understudies and they don't want to help them out, giving them all their secrets, because what if they want to go with a younger option?
Ben Roethlisberger, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
I heard that last year.
Little Tom Brady, I think. But no, I think on a serious note for you, how do you feel that you've handled that, and do you feel like, I guess any advice you can give to people who are in your position?
I subscribe to the idea that supporting somebody else's success will never, ever dampen your own, right? And we've all probably come across, whether it be coaches or teammates, who you kind of look at and you're like, I don't want to emulate you. I don't want to, there's things about you that I just don't see in myself. And the approach that we take, especially with it being an older player to the younger guys, is it's already hard enough, right, to make it. Why? Yeah. What good does that do if I want to, stop somebody else's progress?
Amen, dude.
Yeah. I don't see that being useful. I look at a career, and I want to affect people and my teammates and my coaches in a positive way, and say, man, I really enjoyed working with him, for the time that I did. Not, thank God this guy's out of the damn locker room because he was,
a cancer
difficult.
dude. Yeah.
So that's the approach, and obviously with Harrison, he's incredibly talented, and he's the other big thing is he's open to hearing constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Hey, try this next time. Hey, we talked about breathing. Something as small as breathing. As the shot is coming in or the volley is about to be played, relax, right? Because as soon as you're tense, you're not yourself.
Yeah.
And things like that, and he's able to take it on board. Now, not everybody takes it on board. That's the other thing. But I think there's definitely something to be said about wanting to better the next generation, wanting to make a better environment than one you experienced, growing up and, through our years. So that's kind of my mindset towards this.
Awesome. I think. Go ahead.
No, I just realised I feel like is it Ricky Bobby on time? I haven't said anything for 2 minutes, but I'm just standing here with a mic.
What do I do with my hands?
Keep it low and then go up.
You keep it low, then you go up.
I've been sitting here like it's an ice cream for like 3 minutes.
By the way, so the worst thing about this is, like, when you have a stand-up comedian doing an interview process, is like, I want the microphone the whole time because I feel like I'm going to start doing shtick. But then I realize, I'm like, wait, nobody's tuning in for me. Like, nobody cares what I have to say. No, I love what you guys are all saying in regards to that, because the thing is that, like you said, it is a community, and you never know who you're going to run into in the future, whether it's as a player or as a coach one day who... Geez, Cody, I mean, I can see head coach written all over you, just the way you speak and everything like that. Or, ruler of the world. It's one of those two right there. Yeah. I want to ask you guys, favorite form of distribution? Anybody have a favorite form of distribution that... Yeah.
Goalkeepers.
Whoa.
Everyone's got one. Come on.
Side volley.
Yeah, I'm learning the side volley a little bit more. Mine is faking the punt, faking the side volley, rolling it out, and finding a man wide.
Oh.
Kick. that's something that, as of late, I've really gained confidence in. And obviously, we have the players that are able to. You could put it anywhere in their vicinity, and they're able to be athletic and get there. But that's something that I really enjoy. And the quick one from catching across, the simple rollout to the midfielder who's got acres in front of him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, off the ground for me.
Harrison's like, look, this is like my first interview ever.
Yeah, I know, for sure. No, just simply rolling on the ground, getting everyone up, picking someone out wide, and then what Cody and Byars are saying, working on the side volley every day.
There's nothing better than a good ping. Is there?
Oh no,
Right,
no!
exactly.
When you know you hit it clean on the laces and there's no spin on that ball, it's
Right.
just a nice dead ball. Oh, that's the best feeling in the world because you're like, oh yeah, I meant to do that completely.
Right,
like even though
100%.
like every other rep there was like movement and stuff like that, you're like, I can do this every single time. No, I like the fact that you said you're like you looked at Alexi and you're like. Bowl right out, the cleanest form of distribution there is. That's what I would do. We actually asked an 11-year-old that, and it was like, what favorite form of distribution? He's like, oh, I think that just the simple bowl out right there, and it's because like the dad's like right there, and I'm like, okay, I can understand
go.
why you would say that. No, that's a good move. Well, we want to play a little trivia with you guys, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna do this for you guys. So we've put together a little game, and there is gonna be a prize for the winner. So we're gonna keep track right here, and Alexi. Because should we have Alexi play in the game too, or
These are tough.
Or should I? Okay.
or should you just laugh at them
I'll be the
because you're
phony
like,
friend.
yeah, you can be the funny friend if you want.
Phone
Phone a friend. Oh, the lifeline. I thought you said the funny friend. I was like, yes. Yeah, exactly. God, by the way, I'm going all these layers and stuff too. It's absurd.
I'm good either way.
Either way. Okay, what are we gonna do? All right. Whoa, you want the mic?
No, I think these are tough, so I think you should probably
Okay.
play. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna keep it very. Should we go for the easiest one first?
Yeah, go with Harrison
That's
because
not easy, but we'll go with it.
Harrison only knows goalkeepers from like 2 years.
Harrison's like, he's like, I heard of this guy Tony Mola.
Tony Miola.
Sporting boy.
By the way, I met Tony Miola, and I was like, I thought Cody Laurendi was the biggest goalkeeper I've ever met in my life. And like Tony Miola, I was like, I thought it was a professional bodybuilder coming to me.
He was my idol growing up.
Oh my gosh, I can
Yeah.
see.
He was
I can
my
see.
idol
You're
growing
like,
up.
yeah, if I just do deadlifts, I was just eventually,
Yeah.
I'll be Tony Miola.
A lot.
First time I saw Cody, honestly, was at a Galaxy 2 game, and I was like, I think Troy Polamalu is taking up goalkeeping. I think that's what's going on right here. I was like, and then you moved, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy can play. This guy can play. You are literally like J.J. Watt recently said, I don't know if you guys heard this, J.J. Watt, that he could play goalkeeper.
Yeah, I listened to the pod.
Yeah. And Cody's like, he should look at me
Right,
first
yeah,
and say,
exactly,
you see, if
exactly.
you want to beat me. All right, let's do it. Okay. So first question, guys. Who has the most shutouts in an EPL season? Which goalkeeper has the most shutouts? Now, this is the English Premier League, Harrison. This didn't start until the 1990s. There was a league before then called the English First Division.
I'll let these
I do
guys
know
go
that.
because I think I know the answer.
Is it anyone or
It's
is it
not
just
Tony
me?
Miola.
Right.
No, Tony Miola. was-
It's
was
Hope
a
Solo.
sporting guy.
Hope Solo holds.
I have 2 ideas. Is it mine? Do I?
Yeah, you can start. Sure.
Um,
We're going to keep track of points here.
I think you got to think defensive team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to say Petr Cech.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a great answer.
And I'm also blown away that an 18-year-old would say Petr Cech. I thought he'd say that dude with the helmet. But
No.
okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
In a season, or did they win the championship as well?
Are there
Yeah, they did.
questions?
They did with the Champions League as well.
No, not the Champions League. The Champions.
Championship. They won the.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, the Premier League.
Oh gosh.
Take your time, Buzz.
I'll give you a hint. It was
Yeah.
24 shutouts.
24. That is some guy. Wow. What's that? That's more than one every 2 games,
Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal.
right?
Yeah.
Blimey.
I still have no idea.
Name a name.
I'll get
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Jens Lehmann.
Good guess.
great
Good
shout.
guess. Good guess. Very good guess.
Come on,
Deep
Buzz.
cut.
I
Deep
really have no
cut.
idea.
Buzz, run out.
Deep
I really have
cuts.
no idea.
Deep cuts. That's a guy that backed up Oliver Kahn, Harrison. Okay. Yeah, just because I'm a jerk like
He was
that.
an
so.
absolute lunatic.
I honestly have no idea.
You guys get him on the pod?
Okay.
You should, yeah.
I didn't. Jens, you're not a lunatic.
He doesn't have 24.
Okay, did I get it right?
You want to take a guess?
Well, I would go Schmeichel or Joe Hart.
Those aren't bad guesses. Okay.
Okay, should I tell him the answer?
Tell him the answer.
It was Petr Cech.
Whoa!
2005.
Wow.
That was I mean, you got to go defensive Mourinho. Obviously,
yeah,
that's
John
the
Terry.
master with that. But okay, let's go to the second one here.
All right.
Harrison, well played.
Who has the most EPL Golden Gloves?
I'll ask it again. Go here. Who has the most EPL Golden Gloves? Which means obviously most shutouts in a season. So, who do you guys think? Actually, you know what? This is a trick question. We're going to tell you guys there was a tie. So there's two guys who have the same amount of Golden Gloves in there.
Check's got to be
Just
in
go
there then.
go two. Go throw out two of them.
I'm going to say Cech and Schmeichel.
That's a good guess.
I'll go Joe Hart, and I'll go Schmeichel also.
Check and Schmeichel.
I'm going to go Tim Flowers. Because he's one of my heroes. And Schmeichel.
No, someone earlier said Petr Cech and Joe Hart. That was the right answer. They both have 4.
Harrison, too.
Hold on. I have a feeling that he may be clairvoyant. Like, there's a chance he could be clairvoyant. And now I see why he was signed to a professional contract at 18 years old. Because he doesn't even need to learn how to be a goalkeeper. He just knows where the ball's going.
Exactly.
So that's the way it works. All right, we're going to go to number 3 now. Okay.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one, okay? The most consecutive Golden Glove winners in EPL history, okay?
Okay.
It's also a tie between two keepers. Yeah.
This is honestly a curveball because there's going to be a goalkeeper in here. You guys, I mean, we all know who he is,
Okay.
but it's going to be like, oh, like he's okay.
All right.
He's the guy. So
That doesn't help at all.
so they won 3 in a row. Both of them, they won 3 in a row.
David James.
Oh, no. No, man.
That's that Spurs. That's that Spurs coming out right there. He's like David James. He's like,
That's a curveball.
That would be, yeah.
that would be. Espen Borschen, guys. It was Espen Borschen. No, I'm just kidding. No, that.
Shoot. Let's see. I'm just going to throw some names out there. David Seaman. And I want to say this one, but I don't think it's correct whatsoever. Jaskalainen.
Oh, you might have one. I might go Szczesny when he was at Arsenal.
He did win one, but it's not. He's not in this group.
it.
These are tough questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, I didn't know the Premier League had a Golden Glove. I thought it was only the World Cup.
No, they do. Yeah, they do.
Something over there.
Harrison, you got one?
3 for 3, maybe?
Yeah, and
I don't think I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you guys clues.
Here we go.
So let's see. You guys already said one of the names, so that's one clue. And you guys, I mean, if we talk about people who've won it before,
Right.
and we said earlier someone won it 4 times.
It's got to be Czech. Czech's got to be up there.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Not Czech.
Joe Hart.
Okay, that's
Joe
one.
Hart.
The second one is let's see. His team wore red.
Liverpool goalkeeper. Liverpool, Arsenal. Oh, I've got it.
Oh, let's see.
Schwarzer, Middlesbrough.
No. That was close. That's close. You guys, that's close though. You said Liverpool or Arsenal, so
I'm just going to say it for the banter. Mignolet.
no, that's not it.
Oh, Pepe Reina.
Yep, there it is.
Boom! Boom!
Well done,
All
Lexi.
right.
Well done.
Of course.
So how do we score that? Do we score that? Do we give that one to Alexi?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
give it a
Okay.
like, please.
All right. All right. So 2-1. All right. Cool. Let's moving on here. Okay. Who has the most consecutive clean sheets in a season in the Premiership?
Consecutive clean sheets. I know this.
I'm going to say Lloris.
You're gonna say Lloris?
I feel like I heard that sometimes.
Someone broke the I remember this. Oh,
You've got some faith in that Spurs back line. I'll
this
tell you
one's
that.
going to really annoy me. They did it recently, didn't they? No, I don't mean this year, but.
Oh, is that air?
You guys are not.
Yeah, there we go. There's the air.
You guys aren't giving
There's the
anything
air
away,
coming.
by the way.
Let's see.
Hold on. Okay.
It's between the years 2000 and 2010.
So he wasn't born. Okay.
We'll make it even easier. 2005 to 2010.
Okay.
Big time goalkeeper.
I'm seeing it.
Oh.
I'm seeing it getting presented.
Van der
on something
Sar.
Before a game.
Yes, there we go. He got
was
it.
it?
Edwin van der Sar.
Get it.
14 clean sheets in a row.
Oh, you're great call.
Boom.
Well done.
That is phenomenal. I didn't think anyone was going to get that one right there. All right. Well, do we have a couple more, right?
We had.
Yeah.
So we had one more question. Recently on my the scores. I think
2-1.
he had. I think,
Okay.
Yeah, 0.
no.
It's just because I'm winning.
For the, I posted recently on my channel about who the best goalkeeper in Manchester United history would be, and there was 4 options that they gave us based off the numbers, and it was Barthez, Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar, and De Gea. So
Barthez got in the top 4.
he did. You know,
Top
he
4.
actually had some good stats. I'm gonna pull it up real quick because I was surprised by this.
We call this guy Professor Goalkeeping, by the way. It's just insane.
So Barthez played 92 games.
I saw this today.
Yeah. Well, he had 32 clean sheets and 2 major honors. I think means trophies or
Right,
personal
right.
accolades.
Yeah, they were with France, so.
No, that's true. Yeah. Van der Sar, 313 games, 132 clean sheets, 7 major honors. And then you have Schmeichel, 310 games, 128 clean sheets, 10 major honors. And then now currently De Gea, 392 games, 128 clean sheets, and 4 major honors. So my question would be, obviously the 3 guys whose careers are done, do you guys, how do you rank them between the 3 of them? And would De Gea pass the person you guys put first in those 3?
No.
No.
Right.
No?
Sorry.
And any reasons why, or you feel like
Because
Schmeichel is just...
I think without Schmeichel, you didn't have De Gea. I think he was a catalyst for goalkeeping. I mean, what he could do, forget about the starfish saves, but the distribution from his hands and the way he started attacks. He was the first goalkeeper, in my opinion, because you had all these greats before. Shilton, obviously, God rest Gordon Banks' his soul.
Yeah.
We lost an English hero this week. But Schmeichel, for me, was the first one that actually got points for his team, in my opinion. Those Man United teams, they were unbelievable, don't get me wrong. But some of the games that he kept them in were just ridiculous.
What he did to my Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final, man, that's insane.
The gigs, the one that
The
Giggs
Giggs
scored,
goal,
the one
yeah.
that you forget the penalty save from Bergkamp. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so all these things. Now it's like the whole debate because I'm the old guy, obviously. So it's like the whole Messi Maradona debate. Well, I think Messi is undoubtedly, both him and Ronaldo are unbelievable, and I just enjoy being able to watch them.
Exactly.
I don't think one's better than the other because I think they're both amazing,
Yeah.
amazing players. But poor Maradona was getting kicked up and down and didn't have the protection that players have nowadays, and it's kind of similar with goalkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think. I guess you should get Eric Steele in here, who coached them both, right?
Yeah.
Schmeichel and De Gea. So for me, if Schmeichel wasn't there, I don't think there would have been this position at United, the United number 1. It's kind of like the Cantona was at 7, right? Number 7,
yeah.
you know.
Beckham coming in and all that.
Yeah, so it's. I think he was the person that transcended the position.
Absolutely.
To another thing, to
Yeah.
another level.
But,
Yeah, I echo.
No, to say Ferguson actually said, he came out, he's like, we look for goalkeepers, we look for keepers who can save us points or win us points, like you said.
Yeah.
And he said that a good goalkeeper should save you about 15 points a year. And from those 15 points, those are the teams that are going to end up winning the league. So for you, I mean, I'm sure for you guys, how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like that's pretty accurate?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And much like Lex said, I think Schmeichel, I was actually first coming into highlights, seeing like the minimal highlights that we were able to see when we were younger, right? I think Serie A was on the TV on a Sunday. I think that was like our outlet to that.
Did you remember Fox Sports World?
Yes.
Oh, like
yes,
the
I do.
Premiership highlights at the end.
Remember,
of
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But-
Max Brados.
Yep.
Yeah, but Schmeichel was incredible, and obviously, his son's doing what he's doing now, and at the top level. But getting back to goalkeepers winning you points. I mean, in the modern era, De Gea is something incredible. How many? Where would they be without him? So.
Tyler's a Man United fan, so he's
Right.
He's loving this.
Yeah.
He's loving this. He's off camera right now, but yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for manager. All right. Wow.
Nice.
All right, Brian.
No, I think I definitely agree. Goalkeepers can, our job is to kind of just do what we do, and if that means we save points, then we save points or gain the team points in the end of the day. So we kind of talk about it a little bit. We do our part the best we can to help benefit the team, and if that means we get 3 points at the end of the day, then it's the best day of the week.
Harrison, I know you're playing on the small goal, but is it still the same way at your level?
Yeah.
I can't help it. He's good looking. He's athletic. I hate him.
he knows
Young.
he knows his trivia.
Yeah. He's intelligent. Like it's like you were made in the lab. I mean, it's,
Yeah, no. Next year I move up to the big goal, so I'm
Nice.
excited for that.
that size 5 ball is a little bit harder to hold on to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no. I mean, they pretty much hit the nail on the head.
But
right
you've
there.
got to love that because you probably didn't watch Michael, right?
No, I mean, I've watched highlights of Schmeichel and Van der Sar, but for me, I was never able to grow up watching those guys. I grew up watching De Gea. I mean, as a lot of the people watching and young viewers do, and just an incredible goalkeeper to watch, an incredible goalkeeper to learn from. And that's something I would tell a lot of the younger kids than me is just, watching the game is such an important thing. And, going out watching, if it's just another team, if it's a USL team, if it's an MLS team, I mean, it's still unbelievable to learn. And you'll soon see that the difference between younger kids and guys like these two, it's very little differences. It's very little small details that make the difference. And you got to work on those every single day and improve them every single day. And that's what makes the best the best.
Yeah, I mean, amen. I mean, I'm just sorry. I'm just getting lost in your speak because I'm just like, you must be 36 years old. Just the way you speak about it. I make fun of you, and then you come back with just like poetry. It's just, it's phenomenal.
He had to sing in front of the team.
Oh, did he really?
Couple of days ago.
Oh, man.
That brought him back to life.
All right. Can any keepers here do karaoke? Any of you guys do
Harrison
karaoke?
can't.
Not good.
Oh.
Not good.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Guys, I honestly have to say, and I hate to say this to any of the other people out there who've been interviewed by us, but this is probably one of the most fun interviews we've ever had on the show.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Thank
it's
you.
been an absolute blast, and I know you guys have a long, night ahead of you. You got to get back to Oklahoma, and you guys are actually in actual training right now. I mean, this is your preseason, and you're getting back. So for you guys to take, we've probably done almost an hour, and don't worry, we'll chop it up to 5 minutes. So it's totally worth it to do this. But I mean, it's such a blast, and I mean, I want to have you guys all on individually again because you guys all have so much wealth of knowledge. I feel like we should do like a trip to OKC and actually
more than welcome.
see a
We'd love
session
to. Love
at
to.
Alexis right there. See what all the fuss is about, really.
Right, exactly.
I think we have to give the winner to Harrison. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think
thank
we
you.
really do. So let's give him a round of applause
Thank
here.
you,
And
thank
we got
you.
a little gift for you. I got a scarf from the World Cup Comedy Tour from last year. Yeah,
Awesome.
and he's like,
Thank
cool,
you.
the World Cup Comedy Tour. Don't know what that is. But
No.
I'll take.
No, but,
I'll take that.
no,
Before we go, guys, if anybody wants to reach out to you guys, if there's goalkeeper coaches out there or kids out there, know that people like this right here used to be in your shoes, so they're very accessible, okay? Exactly. Don't be afraid to reach out on social media because we're all here to help. I get people DM me all the time, and they say, hey, I'm a young college player who's just getting into coaching. This transition's really weird for me. What advice do you give and stuff? And I know you guys have all been in these different shoes. So where's the best place for them to reach out to you guys? Everyone's got a different social media. It's better for them. So
Yeah, well, I actually can't remember the name of my Instagram and Twitter handle. My name is very unique, just Vizarelis, and you'll find me. So you're more than welcome.
are your sessions available online?
Not all that we don't put all the obviously the first team sessions online, but I try to put as much content as I can out there. You know, as long as
Just
I'm
take
allowed.
Harrison in the backyard somewhere.
Yeah, put it through Tyler.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's quite
Yep.
strict. So.
I can see he's like right there. He's like, yeah, no one. We don't want anyone to get any strategic advantage because they see like where Cody stands and everything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Twitter, C Laurendi, Laurendi as in David I 23, and then Instagram is Cody Cody Laurendi.
Brian,
My Twitter is
Instagram influencer 98.
yeah. So my Twitter it's B Byars Byars01, and then Instagram. You're gonna laugh. It's FedEx, like the company that delivers packages. 01. So yeah, there's a story behind it, but we'll get into it.
There's got to be a story behind that.
So have you seen the movie Cheaper by the Dozen?
I haven't, which means that I'm not a comedian. In any way.
So in the movie, there's a big family and there's one redhead in the family. Everyone calls him FedEx because they said he was dropped off by the delivery guy.
All right.
And I'm the only redhead in my family, so my sister called me that when I was little. It stuck.
Love it.
Nice.
No,
Harrison, you've got like 7 handles, I'm sure.
no. My Instagram, it's Big Bouma Brand, so BigBouma, and then same thing for Twitter.
The original Triple B's.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Real quickly, Harrison, I just want to ask you because we didn't get to this, but what made you decide to?
Should we leave?
Oh, come on! Oh, I totally forgot to ask this. We'll edit this back in. What made you decide to go the pro route rather than go to college?
Well, I actually am on an academy contract, so
Okay.
I still am able to go to college right now.
Oh, okay. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and that's what's super cool about this opportunity is that I'm able to train with these guys, and at the end of this, either decide to continue this route or go to college. So
Wow. So this is an NCAA violation because Omar's here right now.
yeah, you got to get out.
So guys, that's all the time we got on Inside the 18. Obviously, reach out www.insidethe18pod.com at ProGK Academy _ at LA Goalkeeping Academy. Thanks again to OKC Energy. Thanks to Tyler for setting this up, and we're out. Later, guys.
Thank you.
Cool.